I like to use old strobes and grip equipment and light stands to take photographs. And this is an example of one of the photographs that I've taken, putting all that stuff together. So, hi, my name's Steve. I'm an amateur photographer. I use old strobes, old monoblocks, 20 or 30 years old pack and heads, and a lot of grip and light stands. All of it is used for the most part. And the uh, I guess, benefit of having that equipment is that it allows you to put together sets and it allows you to put together different lighting configurations to do creative photography such as this. So, what you're looking at here is actually a glass stacked on top of another one. So, it's not done in Photoshop, it's done in camera. My goal for sharing this with you is not to get you to go out and recreate the image, rather to suggest to you different ways to think about maybe adding to some of your equipment or using some of the equipment that you have, or maybe even better, convincing you to go out and get a strobe or two. So this is kind of a behind the scenes of the image, and it is kind of cluttered. I'll try to go through it pretty quickly from left to right. But in the left is a stand. It's going to be a C stand. It's holding up a black flag, and that is to help block light from hitting my camera. And the image, or the soft box, it's actually a strip bank. Uh, Directly to the right of that is pointed behind the glass and at an angle through a piece of diffusion paper. And I use a lot of diffusion paper. It's a roll of it's like $70. The kind I use is made by a company called Savage. It's called Translum, and it comes in different thicknesses, so it can stop one stop of light, half a stop of light, in various grades like that. This image that you're looking at here, I've actually attached it to a frame that I made out of some material I got at a home supply company, and it's being held in place by a grip arm and a Mafer clamp, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Behind the glasses is black cloth, which is called duvetine, and you can get duvetine um, at places like Adorama or B&H, or if you're around a film. Anywhere in the film industry, you can buy it. So on the West Coast, a place would be like Film Tools would sell it. This cloth it's in my opinion magic. It really subtracts light, and because it's cloth, it easily rolls up and it easily stores away. And then on the right is another piece of diffusion plastic material, and it's just being held in place. It's in a spare sheet that I had, and then there is a medium soft box that's bouncing into that. And then I have another piece of cardboard, again, to kind of flag off the light from my camera. The glasses are sitting on top of a light stand, and I'm going to show you that in a little bit more detail here. And so what you see is that there's a light stand and there's a grip head attached to the light stand. In the grip head is a baby pin, and welded to the baby pin is a plate. It's called a baby plate. These things are great. Uh, Grip heads and baby plates allow you to do a lot of things. So with the baby plate, it allows you to make a teeny tiny table, especially if you have a very compact space. And in this case, I wanted to get the lights very, very close to the glass to make it as soft as possible, and to also help with the gradient. So the gradient, you'll see that on wine bottles. That's sort of the wrapping of the light from the back of the image to the front and around the glass. And there's all sorts of videos on how to create gradient lighting. I'm not going to get into that here, but that's how that works. And with the baby plate, you can bolt it to a piece of wood and put it on the ground, and then you have a low light stand. Or you can bolt it to a wall, and you have a light stand that sticks out of a wall. There's a lot of different ways that you can use them. I use them typically as is what you're seeing here, which is this as a small table. The other components of this that I use are going to be in addition to the grip head, and that's that thing on the right at the top of the light stand. And sticking through that pole or that pole is called a grip arm. And in between the two pieces of the grip arm and the grip head, I've stuffed a piece of foam board. So this is a bounce for me. It allows me to either block light or reflect light back. And so you can put black cardboard in there as well to sort of subtract light. You can use it as a bounce with the whiteboard. Having it sandwiched between the grip head and the end of the grip arm allows you to kind of articulate it. So up, down, sideways, in a lot of different places. And it packs up easily. The grip arm gets used for a lot of things. So it's not like buying a reflector, which only can have one or two uses. This has, a lot of uses. And you'll see diffusion paper and frames like I have here that the light is going through, and you'll see grip arms and cardboard and whiteboard and blackboard used a lot in product type studios. And the really cool thing is you can find them, wherever you buy school supplies, or you don't have to go to a photo store in order to get it. And the last thing that I'm going to show you is it's called a Mafer clamp, and that is also helpful for holding. That's what held the frame in place. Let's see if I can get to it. The frame that's kind of to the left of the lights. That clamp at the top. It's holding a wooden frame with the transluminant diffusion material stapled to it. Here it's just holding some foam board, and then the Mafer clamp actually goes on top of a baby pin, and the baby pin goes into a grip head, and then you can articulate it all over the place. An alternative to one of these is called a Cardellini, or Matthews makes one. A lot of companies make them, but Cardellini clamp or a Maddalini clamp. And I prefer those actually to a Mafer clamp. I just don't have a convenient photo here of one of them. If you look in the upper left-hand section of this photo, you'll see a Maddalini clamp actually being used. So those have the baby pin built in, and the clamp works, in my opinion, a little bit better, I should say, than the actual clamp on a Mafer clamp. So having some stands, having some grip heads, having some grip arms, having some baby pins, having some clamps allows you to kind of build sets like this. And from that, you can take images like this, or you could take portraits, or you could take food photography, or you could do other still life. And it's not all about getting the modifiers from your favorite flash company. A lot of this stuff can actually be homemade, and in fact, when I read about, and when I look at, and when I see behind the scenes of some pretty famous product images, you'll see that the set looks kind of messy, like this one. Anyways, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to learn more about this, just drop me a line. I'm more than happy to discuss it. I do it as a hobby, and more than happy to share what little I've learned with anyone that has an interest.